Hey y'all, I just came here to tell y'all my testimony and how God saved my life, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. So God has protected me all my life. I grew up in a church, right? But I wouldn't say I was a troubled teen, but I grew up without a father. So, fatherless children typically act out. And my way of acting out was chasing boys. I loved me some boys. And I just wanted to feel loved. Of course, my mom loved me, but at that young phase of my life, I just wanted male love. So I ran to boys. And my mother hated it. And me and my mom got into it a lot. So by the time I was 16, Mama, if you're watching this, I sorry, okay? But by the age of 16, I was a full-blown alcoholic. I drank every single day. I went to work, drunk. It was my normal, sadly. And it wasn't until I was 17, almost 17, and I literally looked myself in the mirror and I was like, you can't even function without it. You have to drink. It already run in the family. That's not something that you want to. You cannot become an alcoholic. You're more than that. Little I know that was God talking to me, not myself, because at 16, bottoms up, yeah. But God pretty much allowed me to go cold turkey, and I didn't drink out of the military. I got out of the military after I graduated early from military school. I went to the military at 18. I injured myself while I was there. I fractured hip down, and I messed up something in my shoulder. I've not been the same since, by the way. But that's one way of God blessing me and protecting me in that moment, because if I did not get out and I kept fighting, trust and believe I would have been way more injured and I probably would have got nothing for it. But after I got out, my mother and her boyfriend at the time had gave me an ultimatum of either get out or go to college. Mid-semester, I was on the accelerator program, and that thing was tough because when you go from being online, I homeschooled myself before I went to military school. So, and then when I went to military school, my classes were still online. I was just around a whole bunch of bad, behind children, to say the least. It would be a little tough for me, so I decided to go online, and I was like, okay, I could just go online for this semester, and then next semester, I could try to give in-person classrooms a try. Well, I made 2 F's and 2 D's that semester. But I was like, you know what? You cannot be mad at yourself. You cannot sit there and be upset. I prayed about it, and I was like, God, if this is for me, let it be for me. I'll try again next semester. But long story short, I ended up being a few $100s short because I got fired from my job for having an asthma attack, because I got asthma when I was in the military as well. And I was working at a warehouse, and those are dusty. So I was a few $100s short, and I was like, well, geez, God, that was a way, to slap me on my face and get me to end up getting engaged. And I moved to North Carolina, and that went left very quickly. Within 6 months, I was over it. I'm done. Let me skedaddle back to my mommy house, because this is not it. But instead of just skedaddling back, I needed funds, because all of my income was going towards bills, the VA that I was getting. So I became a stripper. But I wasn't I'm having sex with everybody type of stripper. I was a classy stripper. You had to ask permission to touch me. You would know we're not having sex. No, I am not giving you oral. No, sir, I'm just here to clap my big butt and make some money so I can go home. And that was just that. But I was literally working morning, afternoon, and night. And I was going home probably about maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, between 3 and 5 a.m. That's when I was going home. And I'd be back in the club by like 10 a.m. So I used to get a few hours of sleep, but it wasn't enough to be working all of those hours dancing. But I can't say God protected me. You hear me? God protected me. A man almost sexually assaulted me, and he had a disease, and he had a thing where he liked to transfer to people, and God protected me in that moment. Definitely protected me in that. Y'all, that was such a messed up phase of my life because I was always the girl with the big butt. I was always the hoe, even though I wasn't sexually active. But in middle school, I was deemed as the hoe because I had a big butt. And I liked the boys, but just because I liked boys don't mean that I was hunching on them, okay? But you know, at that age, you know, people don't really understand that. But I left that situation in August, and I didn't even ask God. I told God, I just want to live my life for me. I don't want no man. I don't want nothing. And God told me, got me, because literally 2 months later, August, September, October, me and my husband now, we met in October for the first time on October 15th, 2019. And to say the least, we were married by December the 3rd, 2019. So we literally got married very quickly. However, we got married very quickly, but our first few years of marriage was really rough. Between in-laws and losing children. Between 20 and 2020, you would never become a mother. That'd take a whole nother toll on you. But I kept my faith, and I just prayed about it, and we kept trying. And God finally showed me some things to take. I'll do a whole other video on it. But God showed me some things to take for me and my husband. And we literally were pregnant less than 30 days later with our oldest. And I've had no problems. 4. She's almost 4, so 3 under 4. But I always kept my faith with it, y'all. Like, I prayed. Don't get me wrong. I was not a wholesome Christian woman. I believed in God. I was very spiritual. I prayed, but I was not heavy on it. I was not consistent with it. None of that, sadly. But my husband ended up joining the military, sadly. And that is when my faith started to really become stronger because I was pregnant and we had a 1-year-old. So I could do nothing but pray. That's all I could do was pray. So that's why God put us through some trials and some tribulations, okay? I mean, God put us through some things when we got here. We ended up buying a house. I had put that on my vision board, like, we have a family. I would love to buy a house, and God made it happen. When we purchased our house, we paid $20. That's how much we had to take a cashier check for. Less than $20 to get our home. So that was nothing but God, because we thought we was gonna have to put a couple $1,000 down, okay? But we ended up having to put less than $20. So now that we're in the home, I gave birth to another child in this home. After I gave birth, it was a drive-through prayer. I was on the phone with my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, what you think? I should go through this drive-through prayer. She was like, if God put it on your heart, do it. I said, okay. Well, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna go. And I did a U-turn in the middle of the street illegally. And I went through the drive-through prayer. I went through it. We talked a little bit. They prayed over me. They prayed over my husband, our children. And I was like, oh my gosh, this church really has a wonderful feeling. Like, oh my God, this has a wonderful feeling. It feels like home. So I went home and I told my husband, and my husband wasn't really strong in his faith at all. My husband was like a little lost puppy in the world. He didn't know where to go. He was just trying. And I went home and I told him, he was like, well, okay, we'll go check it out. And we went that Sunday. He was out like this. And it wasn't like a typical African-American church. It's a multiracial church, but it's predominantly Caucasian. But it felt like home for him too. And I had my baby in May. By July, it was July. By July, we were getting baptized. That was my very first time getting baptized and accepting Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior, okay? And I'm confident because He's my Savior, okay? I'm gonna keep my faith at all times. We both got baptized and it felt amazing to do that. We dedicated our children, and ever since, life has really been amazing. God has took a lot of worry from me, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. God has gave me understanding and patience, because a lot of times I look at my life, right? I failed at the military. I failed actually tried to go to college twice. Maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't know. I stopped counting if I'm being honest. Because it will always be a hiccup. It will always be something. But I had to learn that God was telling me that that's not my path. That's not for me. At one point, I felt like I was failing to be a mother. And then after I had children, because I was so depressed because I did not grieve the children I had, just like when my kids look up to me, what are they looking up to? But now that I look at my life and I have so much understanding from God has blessed me in so many ways that gotta be flipped though. Biblically speaking, they gotta be flipped. I'm a wife, a good one at that. So they have something to look up to. They see a mother that fights hard every single day. They see a mother that pours into her family. They see someone that is stepping into entrepreneurship again, because I've had multiple failed businesses. I forgot to tell you I did multiple. Okay, I've tried everything under the sun you can think of at this point. Like, that's a whole nother video, y'all. That a business is so much and it can be so overwhelming so quickly. But it's just me having faith in God showed me I can have faith in myself as well, and to stop minimizing myself, because I am a child of God and God got me and I got God, because he got my back at all times, and he's leading my husband, which leads us. Okay, because he lead my husband, lead me, and we lead the children. So I know that we will forever God, because God got us. Throughout my whole life, everything I've been through, God has always protected me and shown me that he loved me, and things are not gonna always go my way. And I had to really understand that, because I'd be like, well, I wanna do this. Like, I've been trying to do YouTube for a very, 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 very long time, okay? Very long time. And I just haven't been successful yet. But guess what? I'm still doing it because God told me to. I'm following his direction with it. When I first started doing YouTube and doing social media content, I was showing my body. And then I quickly realized that's not how I want people to view me. Me and my husband would be in the videos and stuff just dancing. It's not for the world to see. It's not for the world to judge. It's not for that at all. So I had to do a very big transition on the platforms that I am on, because I want to have my faith in God. I'm following his direction, okay? He told me, don't do that. And he keep telling me this on your head. He may drop me on my butt, but he ain't gonna drop me on my head, okay? But I've been through a lot. And God has held me together. Through being an alcoholic, through stripping, through broken bones, through failed miscarriages. What else? Repos, evictions on my credit that I wasn't even supposed to have, failing in the military. Like, God has really held me together. And I want to instill in our children that you pray before you do anything. If God don't tell you yay, nay, baby, don't touch that. Don't put your mouth on that, period. Don't do it. Pray, have faith in God, gonna show you the way. I know the way, that's God. God gonna show you the way. You take that first step, and he like, all right, follow me, I got you, come on. Okay, but faith without work is dead now, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Faith without work is dead. You gotta take the first step, maybe a few steps, and he gonna be like, all right, come on, let's hop in the car now. Let me take the wheel. But this is a reminder to y'all, whatever your testimony is, even the thing that you are currently in, no matter what the situation is, you pray about it and you keep it pushing. Whatever God tells you to do, whatever work he tells you to do for the situation that you're in, you better do it and keep going. Y'all have a blessed and amazing day. Maybe someday I will be able to go into like big details on like certain things that's happened. Like, I should do a story time on being a stripper in the military and those things to help some of y'all, because let me tell you, things that I saw. God bless you all. Bye.